Good afternoon, Bloomington. It is Friday at 3 p.m. You're listening to WIUX LP Bloomington, and this is Growing Pains, the show where we get to interview lots of cool local artists. I am joined by another amazing Bloomington group today, the Matriarch. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you guys so much for joining me in the studio today. We've kind of got you at a great time. You just released your debut EP, Welcome to the Matriarch. And today we're going to do a little listen through, talk about the EP, talk about who you guys are. First, I'd love to just do a little round of introductions so everybody knows who's talking. We'll just go in a little circle.
Hello, I'm Mal. I am the drummer for the Matriarch, and I'm so happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Al, and I sing for us. I'm our lead vocalist.
I'm Joe. I'm the bassist for the Matriarch. I'm glad to be here.
Hey guys, it's Mal, number 2 or number 1, whichever way you spin it.
Ooh.
And yeah, thanks for having us. I'm the guitarist. That's right.
Well, yes, welcome to the show. I think the best course of action is to start by just playing through the first 2 songs. You've got a lovely little intro and then Drunk and Lonely. Do you guys have any preliminary thoughts about the EP just this past week? And having it be out in the world.
Just welcome to the Matriarch.
Yeah, welcome.
I haven't really processed it all yet, so it'll be nice to sit here and listen through with all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, maybe something to preface it is we like to see Welcome to the Matriarch as kind of like a space itself. So maybe when you're listening to the first 2 songs, it's you're entering what we see as the place of the Matriarch, and we would love to welcome you to it.
Awesome. Well, we're going to listen to Welcome to the Matriarch, Drunk and Lonely by the Matriarch. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Matriarch.
Time in design, but you left me bleeding. So don't call me when you're drunk and lonely. Life is so much better without you. Find me feeling like myself, bright dead blue. Heard you got a new girl who left you by month. What? She must have learned before I did. You're no fun. So don't call me when you're drunk and lonely. I fought long and hard to be your me. I don't trust you now when you don't know me. So don't call me when you're drunk and lonely. If I want dinner and a storm, I'll call you. But I'm too busy being more, not too far for you again. If I want dinner and a storm, I'll call you again. But I'm too busy being more and not too far for you again. So don't call me when you're drunk and lonely. I fought long and hard to be your me. I don't trust you now when you don't know me. So don't call me when you're drunk and lonely. Don't call me. Don't call me. Don't call me when you're drunk and lonely.
All right, that was Welcome to the Matriarch and Drunk and Lonely by the Matriarch. How does it feel to listen to that, like in real time, have that out?
It feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't gotten old yet. I feel like I just could listen to our songs like over and over again.
I feel like those two songs together, like, also just kind of came together exactly how we wanted it to. Well, maybe not exactly, but like very much like we wanted it to. Because we were like, oh, we need to have another song. And we're like, well, what if we wrote like this little intro to Drunk and Lonely? And Welcome to the Matriarch was created.
Yeah. I will say it is kind of weird, like, hearing your own songs. I've been trying to, like, put it into words, but it doesn't sound like a normal song to me.
So true.
Yeah, like, I don't know what because I know a lot of, like, actors, like, they won't watch themselves in movies because it's a little weird, and that's how it feels to me. Like, it doesn't sound like a normal song, and I just hope someday that it does, but right now it's just, like, I know that it's us, so I can't just, like, sit and enjoy it. It just sounds different, but it is still like a wonderful experience.
Yeah, the other day, well, we've been actually talking about this week about how it doesn't really feel real still. Like, when we listen to it, we're like, we can tell it's us. Can other, like, does that make sense to other people? Like, and so I checked in with my roommate, and I was like, does this sound like a normal song? Like, do these sound normal to you, or do you get what I mean? And she had no idea what I was even trying to say.
Right.
She was so confused, and I was like, okay, good. I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
No, I get that 100%, because when you're making your own art, you, like, it's yours, and not, you don't put it in the context of just like music or songs. It's just like this thing that you do that you hope kind of fits in with this general thing that you love. So that makes total sense. But yeah, okay, I just want to talk about Welcome to the Matriarch really quick. I think it is a excellent little demonstration of the production you've got going on. Can you guys give me just a rundown of like what was the process of making that? This might be not a quick little question, but what was the process? How did you make this album? What was kind of the time frame of its creation?
Oh wow, where do we want to start?
Let's start with Welcome to the Matriarch, the intro, I guess.
That was actually the last song.
Last thing we finished was the intro.
Then
Drunk and Lonely, I'd say, is probably the best place to start, because that was like the first song that was completed like out of all the songs on the EP. And that was written by a friend of ours, Sophie DeFrench. And we didn't even really know her at the time, and she just like so gracefully gave us that song. She was like, you guys would do such a good job, I think you should have it. And from that moment, like, we've just loved working with Sophie. We're super grateful for that.
Yeah, when we were actually just listening to the song in the studio, we were talking about how the night that she, I want to say, gifted upon us this song, honestly, she gave us to it in a nice little bow. We were at Emma Spart's, our friend's, release party for her single Weirdo. This was back in, was it December? October?
Okay.
A year ago.
Like a year ago.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary,
Drunk and
Lonely. And yeah, so we were there that night, and we had met Sophie like casually, but we had never really like met her. And so the fact that she was just so willing to give a group of like, not strangers, but like acquaintances maybe, a song, she was just like, and also just such like a personal song, like it has like such like deep emotions in it, and the fact that she was just like willing to just share this with a group of people was really beautiful. And
It really propelled us as songwriters.
and it's such a good song.
It is a great
too.
song. We love
She's so good at songwriting.
Oh.
Like her lyrics are amazing.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, the trust she had in us, because like
We did
imagine
change a
giving
lot, too.
your prize artwork, like the best thing that you've created. I'm not saying it is the best thing she's created or not. I think she's a great artist, but this is beautiful, a beautiful song, and like just trusting some brand new musicians with it, just because like she was like just because.
It was also great having that song given to us as lyrics and melody. That was the first song that for me to work on like the arranging and the writing parts, and Joe as well, and deciding like what instruments we wanted to be in the song and how we wanted it to build, and there's a key change in the bridge and all that kind of stuff. And so kind of having that framework already given to us so early on in our songwriting experience just helped so much. And Sophie's belief in us also. Because after we finished that, we started playing it live, and we saw the reception to it. And around the same time, Best Wishes came out. And seeing the reception to those two songs, we played them live, just like the support from the community, really, we were like, all right, let's do it. We're going to make an EP. Like, we're going to make it happen. And then right after that, we started writing the last song on the album, actually, A Story Untold.
Right. Yeah, that we started writing that in January.
Yeah, it would have been January or February.
Yeah. And after we finished that, I think it was April, we were gigging around a lot, and it was just a fun time, but we were like, let's get serious. That's one thing about us, is if we make a plan, we're going to stick to it, even if it's really hard. So we were like, let's book this time in the studio for July, and then we have to have everything done. Yeah. And so then shortly after that, Joe actually wrote the majority of Respect and brought that to us, and we started finishing it. And then we started writing Sun Song. And at that point, everything fell together. We realized that we had these 4 songs that fit together really well, and we knew we wanted to do like a little intro song.
Right. Yeah, we always knew we wanted to do an intro song.
Yeah.
Like something where Al could say, "Welcome to the Matriarch."
Yeah.
We just wanted to like welcome our listeners in that way. And we knew we wanted Drunk and Lonely to be the second track. on there, and
we
so
wanted them to bleed together,
yeah.
which you can definitely hear because part of the organ sustains into Drunk and Lonely when you begin Drunk and Lonely. That is from Welcome to the Matriarch. But yeah, because we admire a lot of albums or tracks that can like bleed into each other. That's something that we had noticed from different artists, and we said, yep, we would like that to be included in our art as well.
Yeah, the flow of it was definitely really important to us.
Yeah, we also have a similar, not as noticeable, but a more subtle flow from Sun Song into A Story Untold 222. It ends with like a bit of me yelling, and then it comes in with Mal's bum bum
With that drum fill.
Yeah.
with the drum fill, and it's really cool. That one gives me goosebumps when I listen to it because it came together exactly the way that we really wanted it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like Mal said, we booked time at Russian Recording. We recorded with Damien. Super cool. You should check his stuff out also. And then we knew we wanted to work with women on this, or just non-cis men in some capacity. So we reached out to 2 friends of ours who helped us with Best Wishes, Abby Harrison and Anna Fagan.
Jacob's alum.
Yeah.
Fleeter.
Yeah.
And Rose, shout out Rose Girl if
Yeah.
anyone's been in the house show scene for a while.
Yeah. So we had them do mixing and mastering. So that was really special also.
Yeah. How is it in balancing the 4, like, how does having 4 people in the band kind of influence the band's decisions? Do you guys feel like you generally agree on most decisions? Is it pretty, like, a synergy throughout the process? Was there anything you had to really fight back against each other on? Any decisions?
Yeah, I mean, as everything works out, they're always going to have disagreements. It's nice that we see each other at least 2 or 3 times a week, so we're usually on the same page. But everyone has their own artistic differences as far as visually and auditorily. So we've found a way to work that out, and I think that's really special and what's brought us closer together recently.
Sorry.
Yo, go ahead.
Sorry, I think that's also what brings us our sound, is because we all do bring a bit of what we see as the matriarch to the table. And I think together it's really beautiful, and I don't necessarily see them as disagreements, but it's just like, oh, let's see what I thought of, and I want to see how we can make it mesh with what you thought of too. So
Yeah.
It really helps too that we're like all non-cis male people, because we have like a really healthy way of dealing with conflict. I mean, not to say that like all non-cis,
but in our experience.
But yeah, it works. Actually, we had Al's mom, Mary, come to one of our rehearsals a while ago, and we kind of got into like a little bit of a argument, and afterwards she was just like, it's so cool to see how you guys deal with conflict. Like instead of like everyone yelling, talking over each other, we try to like all pull back and like respect one another. We get really emotional. We cry a lot.
We're not scared
we
to
hug a lot.
yeah.
Cuddle, like,
Yeah.
It's a really like open and intimate experience, and so like anytime we have a disagreement, it's really no big deal. Like we'll always just be like, I hear you, that's totally fair. So, and obviously it's not always perfect, but it always gets there at some point.
Everyone's getting also like so much of this whole experience is just about growing in different ways. And like a little thing that I know we've all grown with is being able to change your mind. Like I feel like we all used to be so much more stubborn and have an idea in your head of like, this is how I want something to be. And you just can't do that. If we're going to be vulnerable with each other and write songs together, like you just have to be willing to think about it later and be like, you know what, actually, I was wrong. That other idea is better. Let's do it. And Joe is like the first person that
I was going to chime in on
I
that.
know, like Joe is amazing about that. And as I started to realize that, I was like, I need to be more like that in my own life too. Like it's okay to change your mind, which is, I know that's not a huge revelation, but it really feels like one sometimes.
I think it is. I think a lot of people don't do that.
at least to admit that you're gonna like change your mind on something that you were like, this is something I feel really strongly about.
Yeah.
And then like the next day you're like, just kidding, you were right. And I was wrong.
I actually like what you said better.
Yeah, no, I remember the, like, as the born and raised German farm girl I was, my stubborn self was definitely holding out a little bit on them. But there was a couple times where, like, it was actually on Drunk and Lonely. We were talking about the chords for the chorus, and I had this really cool bass line I wrote, and I wanted to play it over and over and over again. And Mal was like, "Oh, but it'd sound cool if we could change like it so it was like every other set of the chords that you'd play this line." I was like,
let's build the suspense, Joe.
And so then I like it took like a month, and I was like, okay, no, she was right. Like, this is so much better. And like ever since then, like I still, if I like, it's just something I've been trying to do, and I think that being with these guys has really helped a lot with that, and knowing it's like, you know, there's not necessarily a right and wrong in every situation. It's more of like, what do we want the outcome to be in the end, artistically.
Yeah.
It helps to focus on the big picture.
Yeah.
What's the effect we want on people?
Yeah, I think that being in a band in general is something that's like a big learning curve, but it's something that helps you grow as an individual in ways that you wouldn't probably expect from just being in a band. It definitely does help with like communication. It helps with creativity. It helps with mental blocks. Collaborating, yeah. It's definitely a really cool and fun experience, but you get to learn a lot about yourselves, and I've learned more about these guys. Just because of, well, one, writing music, and two, just the process of like being in a band. Yeah, maybe like getting in disagreement sometimes, but just like learning to give each other that space is really important too.
Yeah.
So, going off of that really quick, something I've thought about this on and off, and like after we've had like big disagreements and things that haven't worked out the way we've wanted them to, I'm like, this is the exact reason that tests whether or not bands can stick together or not. I'm like, this is exactly why people decide to go solo and don't try to bear with it together. And I think it makes being in a band and keeping your band together so much cooler and so much more important, because it's like,
it can be hard.
all of the things you fight past for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot imagine being an independent artist. All the work that they have to do. Thank you guys.
I know. I couldn't make all those decisions by
Do
myself.
everything. It's so much better this way.
Yeah.
I like it being a collaboration.
Well, it shows because you're all here today. But I think that's a really like beautiful point about growing, you know, not just as musicians, but also as individuals and learning how to work together. But I think, especially for you guys, your musicianship has grown. Just from where you began, I know that Mal, you picked up the drums over the pandemic. I know, Al, that you were less inclined to sing in front of people, and then not at all inclined. So you guys have come from like a really, I think, unique place where this was a learning opportunity, perhaps, but then you've kind of taken it like so far. How do you feel as, you know, musicians who have this, you know, project out, who have been performing regularly, who have like a staple in the community, really? How confident do you feel in your musicianships? Where are you at now with like just being musicians?
Honestly, like, it's about the music, but it's also about so much more to us that we just don't really focus on. When we play live, I'm not concerned with comparing myself to other lead guitarists. I'm not thinking about what are people going to think of my skills. We're so much more focused on just connecting with people and putting what we have to say out into the world. That honestly, I mean, I know we have improved, and I know I have, but it's not really top of mind for us. I don't think that I would be at the level I am now if we hadn't just taken that step, which I think a lot of people are so hesitant to do. We formed a band as complete beginners, and getting over that of just saying, you know what, I know that I'm not as good as other guitar players in the scene, and I just don't really care. And so getting past that has actually made me be able to progress, I feel like, so much faster, because I just like don't have any real judgment for myself. I'm just proud of what I accomplished, and that's that. I'm not looking in the past, you know, but
That's beautiful.
we're just
So
working.
true.
The theme of the Matriarch lately, I'd say, is trying to get rid of the ideal of perfection. That's something that me, as a Virgo woman, I struggle with a lot, right? You wanna be perfect all the time. You wanna do your best all the time, but doing your best isn't always going to be perfect, and that's okay. You just got to try, and what you put out there is okay. And I think that's also why I referred to it as like singing in secret. Like I didn't want to like show or like share it with anyone that like I liked to sing, because like, yeah, sometimes I thought it sounded good, but sometimes I'd be like, oh no, I can't sing like Christina Aguilera. That's okay. I can't hit her notes. That's okay. But like I can do other things that are really special. And so I think that just seeing yourself as an individual, and kind of like what Mal was saying, is not comparing yourselves to other musicians too, because I like to see it as like an art form. It's just like what you're putting out. Like I want it to all be accepted, and all of it to be able to exist as one without it being able to be like compared to other things. And all of it has, we all have space for each other here, like as musicians and artists.
Do you think there's something about Bloomington or the IU community that kind of enables you to feel like, I agree that there's like there's so much music stuff going on around here, but there's not, it's a very supportive environment in my opinion. But have you found like, and you could say no, but have you found anything about Bloomington that, you know, enables you to just like pursue this as a passion project and like do your thing for the sake of doing your thing, if that makes sense?
I think so. Yeah, totally. We've met like some really amazing people along the way that just totally believe in our whole thing and just like want to support us wholeheartedly, regardless of like, you know, how good we might be as musicians. They just love what we do. Like Mike over at the Orbit Room, he's always asking us to play shows. Not even just at the Orbit Room, just everywhere. Yeah, Amy O. They're amazing. Mal and I both have worked with Girls Rock Bloomington, local nonprofit, a lot. And we are always finding opportunities that way. Yeah, I think there's so many people that support us, artists too, that want to work with us just for the sake of sharing and creating. And I think we're so grateful for that.
I mean, Welcome to the Matriarch wouldn't be here without all of the creative people in Bloomington. Like Zoe Kaylin,
shout out Zoe,
made our cover. It's beautiful.
And Hanan Johnson, he took the photos for a lot of our promotion. We have just so many creative people around us that helped us create this, and all of the people that helped us like engineer and mix this, along with all the people that are just helping us like put it out there and supporting us and listening to us. And also, like, earlier I was with my friend and she said that she was listening to it while she slept, and that, REP, while she slept, and that was just so beautiful to me. Natalie, you are a beautiful soul.
I'd also like to give a shout out to Trevor Webb, because
so true. Thanks, Trev.
Like nothing, we couldn't be doing this without him. Like he has so much equipment and like a space, and always helps us when we're trying to write songs when they maybe don't make sense, like in the progression. So thank you, Trevor Webb.
Yes, thank you.
I was going to say, there are so many supportive people, but something else that has given us the freedom to do all the things you were saying, you know, just create for the sake of creating, was I feel like at the beginning we did really just try to, if we faced like, the next song you're going to hear is Respect. And we just really took an attitude of like, if we are going to face something from someone where we feel like they are like looking down on us, if there's like another musician that's not going to take us seriously, it's like, that's fine. That's their deal. I'm not going to worry about it. And that really like, I feel like freed up at least myself, and I think the whole band, like to not focus so much on those people's expectations and just accept the support that's given. And if someone has like judgments, like that's just for them. We don't have to worry about it. And that like helps so much.
Yeah, which is a great transition into the next song, third song of your EP, Respect. I really like this one. It reminds me perhaps of a Wet Leg song. Yes. I don't know if you guys are fans.
I do think that we actually had a little bit of inspiration from Shay's Lounge when we were writing this one.
It's on our Matriarch soundtrack. We have a playlist called the Matriarch soundtrack. It's on our artist profile that is like full of stuff that inspired the EP, and that song's on there.
And Joe wrote this next one.
Yeah,
so The lyrics are definitely my favorite part.
For you 80s rock lovers out there.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, everyone, this is Respect by the Matriarch. Enjoy.
Hey man, why don't you quit? Why don't you quit? You're messing around. You give me eyes which go hand in hand with disrespect. Won't give me a shot. Blocked from the start. Good thing that I have experience. Won't you respect me? Some respect, please. I think I deserve a little bit more. Won't you respect me? Some respect, please. I'm no different from the man next door. At least I'm different. Glad I stand out. Know that lives may be about more. You and I don't really got to be fine for me to be successful here. You want me to look awful and act awful sexist to me. I know you don't want me to be something, but I'm returning with the you. Won't you respect me? Some respect, please. I think I deserve a little bit more. Won't you respect me? Some respect, please. I'm no different from the man next door. Respect me, 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 respect Won't you respect me? Some respect, please. I think I deserve a little bit more. Won't you respect me? Some respect, please. I'm no different from the man next door. Won't you respect me? Some respect, please. I think I deserve a little bit more. Won't you respect me? Some respect, please. I'm much better than the man next door. I'm so much better than the man next door.
All right, we're back. That was Respect the Matriarch. Joe, if you wouldn't mind giving us a little more insight into
Oh yeah.
the song.
So I tend to just kind of write songs and keep them to myself. Something I've noticed is that just finishing something feels a lot better than trying to make it perfect. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And then around the time we were writing Best Wishes and kind of on this rampage of men in the music scene not treating us very well.
Still on that rampage.
We're still on that rampage. When it started, I wrote that song, again, mostly directly towards men in the music scene not treating us correctly. That's not something that's something that we deal with on a too common basis. It's, it's unfortunate. A lot of people don't see it, but and even when we explain situations to people, they're like, "Oh wait, really?" And just don't quite understand. So I wrote this song in respect to I said respect, so I caught myself up. In respect to I guess showing that we can be just as good or better than the men that we're around, and trying to find our spot in the music scene. I also wrote it in a sense, like I said, kind of an 80s rock song style. And part of that was intentionally because there's a lot of 80s rock songs that are very disrespectful towards women. And this was kind of supposed to be one that was kind of an opposite of that, and making us have a nice spot in there for people that like that type of music.
Yeah.
Yeah. What empowers you guys the most of the Matriarch? Like, what is it that you do that you're like, this is awesome? Like, this is, I don't know, this is providing something to people, if anyone who doesn't believe in us. Like, what about this does that for you?
The first thing that came to mind is, so Mal mentioned earlier that we've done some things with Girls Rock, and we've had a few like concerts with them, and the only time, actually, I guess a mom has asked me for my autograph, but the only times I've ever been asked for an autograph has been by children, and so that is the most beautiful thing in the world. We would play and they would just run up to us afterwards, and I forgot the name of, well, I shouldn't say the name anyways, but somebody asked us to sign the back of their jean jacket, and I looked to their dad and I was like, is this okay? And he was like, yeah, they love it.
Aww, yeah, at the same show, actually, like, I had a mom come up to me and ask if I taught drum lessons, because when I was up there, like, playing and singing, she said that her daughter was, like, freaked out and, like, looked at her with such, like, glowing eyes and was like, that's what I want to do. And so I think that's, like, the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. I didn't think that being an inspiration to little kids was on my bucket list. It definitely is now.
Yeah. I would also say, just like, as much as we've had those opportunities to connect with people that are younger than us, also just connecting with different people, like, locally in the scene, that are, like, our age or older, has been, like, really empowering. Like, we've even had moments with, like, women who are a bit older than us that are like, you should keep doing what you're doing, because when I was your age, like, I would have loved to do this, and I feel like I missed this opportunity. And so just, like, having that kind of faith put in us. And then just, like, connecting with, Mal already mentioned Mike from the Orbit Room, but every time we connect with, like, a new person at these local venues or someone who's involved in the community, it just means so much to us when they, like, you know, ask us to do something with them or express any, like, appreciation towards us, because we're always feeling, like, so grateful for them inviting us to things. And those moments are just great. There's so many people that I wouldn't have met if we didn't start playing music, and that's just great.
I definitely can appreciate the Matriarch in the sense that, like, kind of the same way that the kids are, like, we didn't see this, like, I don't know, there's a lot of boy bands, I gotta say, but I also don't like breaking it down into, like, gendered terms either, because I don't want to be called a girl band. We're just a band. I don't like our gender being, like, attached so much to it, I guess.
Yeah, like, it's already in the name, the Matriarch. So sometimes when people have to add, like, even more, we're like, it's all right.
And that's also kind of why I see it as, like, a space instead of, like, okay, yeah, we see the patriarchy as, like, something that's just, like, being led by a man. That's not how we see the Matriarch. It's not, like, a leader of any sort. It's kind of like a coalition, a cooperation. Like, it's very fluid in our eyes, I guess. So I guess it's, when I was little, I really wanted to see what we are. I don't want to define what we are, but it's really nice to see it and to be that space for what I wanted to see when I was little too.
Yeah. Who are your guys', like, Joe's got 80s rock, but who are your guys' musical influence, either locally or just, like, growing up listening to music?
Joe, what were some of your 80s influences?
Oh, Jesus. Well, I mean, for this song, definitely, like, Joan Jett, and
Stevie Nicks.
The Runaways.
The Runaways, that's good.
Yeah. Well, that's Joan Jett's band. But, yeah.
Joan Jett.
Really, like just strong female figures. And like I went through my phase too, you know. I liked Def Leppard and all them too, and it was just like I wanted to do that too, and then realized that people in that group wouldn't necessarily let me in. I actually heard a radio interview one time. They were talking about how Guns N' Roses actually had the opportunity to have a female in their band and said, no, this, like, wouldn't be it. Like, she wouldn't fit here. And, like, ever since then, I was like, well,
I'm going to do it.
Now it's my turn to fix this, so.
Yeah.
I would say some of mine, well, a big one for the whole band is probably Billie Eilish. Like, we would love to cover her music, and like the songwriting production with like her and Phineas is something that we always look to as examples for things. Lots of local inspiration, like Emma is like a huge, I feel like Emma started putting Emma Sparks. Sorry. Yeah. But she started putting out music right when we kind of formed. And so seeing her be able to just like make her own music and put it out and be supported was like, that definitely really helped. And then just like, I have like so.
I feel like Secret Mezzanine.
Yeah,
is a
Secret
big one
Mezzanine.
for us.
Seeing them play house shows when we were younger in college, yeah, that was like a big, like, oh, we could do that.
Yeah.
I never thought that.
Yeah. For me personally, I think we played a Bishop show a few weeks ago with Kid Sister and Moonkissed. And that was like our first show at the Bishop, but it was also our first show just playing with like full, not a single cis male identifying person in any of those bands. And like growing up, my parents, they love music. They always took me to concerts. I've been to so many concerts growing up, and I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was just like, to see Kid Sister up there playing it was just insane. I never thought I could see anything like that, and that was the most empowering thing. Like like Mal's been saying, like, we never thought we could do anything like this, but then when you see people like you, I guess it's like, I could do that. I'm like, I could do that also. So that was like the most beautiful experience. I was like crying.
Yeah.
We also have like a lot of really random musical influences. Like Mal and I became like really obsessed with Paul McCartney and Wings when we were writing the EP, which I feel like is really random, but like so much of like, just when we were writing lyrics, I don't even know. We just like really got onto this thing about like Paul's songwriting.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't even know if people can tell when they listen to songs when that comes through, but to me it's so obvious, which is like one of my favorite things. Like Mal mentioned the playlist we have. It's called the Matriarch Soundtrack on our Spotify. And that is a great playlist if you want any insight into us, but it also is really random. There's a lot on there that you'll probably be like, how did this influence their writing? But it really did.
With this, I just love to tell this story. It's literally Mal and Mal's story, but I'm going to tell it anyways. I wish that you guys could see it because it's more of a visual thing, but which is weird because they were writing a song, but it's still more of a visual thing. So during the end of Sunsong, right?
Which is what you'll hear next.
Yeah, Sunsong. So you'll hear that next. So during the end of it, when I'm yelling the lyrics, Mal said that when she was thinking of like the rhythm and like the beat that she wanted the lyrics to go to, she was just stomping around. She was just going bump, bump, bump. She was going, you don't have to feel covered. So she was just like with it.
And that came straight from Maybe I'm Amazed by Paul McCartney.
Yeah. So I like including that visual when people.
So now when you're about to hear it, just try to stomp around.
Yeah.
Let it
See how
out.
it
Stomp
feels.
around. Yeah.
Get up, shake it off. Yeah, I guess we should listen to it. No need for delay. All right, everyone, this is Sunsong, the Matriarch. Enjoy.
Done. The room looks awfully flat. head in the clouds. I'm not coming down. Every time I see the sun rise to the day, I know I'm not the only one who needs to change. And each night I sit beside and watch the moon. Something tells me pretty soon I'll be home. A million miles away, softly swinging into space. Immersive illusions, sparking intrusions in my brain. Lays a hand out to me, whispers of wisdom in the breeze, and she says, you don't have to feel cold, you don't have to hide there anymore. I am with you, you are the sun, I am the moon, and we are one. Take a look around, answers in the clouds, everything and nothing that you can't be.
And we're back. That was Sunsong, the Matriarch. Mal, we didn't get a chance to hear about your influences. I'd love to hear. Or Al, excuse me.
No, you're
Looking
good.
directly at you.
Mal, Al. It's
Yeah, no, I respond to all of them because you just have to say a syllable and we'll all fit in. But yeah, so I wouldn't say that I have like a particular artist that I look to for like inspiration. We definitely like take from artists, obviously, but I would say that my biggest inspiration is probably my sisters. When I look to like who's inspired me the most with singing, my memories, my only memories like singing when I was little is just like in the back seat with my sisters, us just belting out to like R&B songs like Amy Winehouse or like Erykah Badu. We would just always be belting together, and I always had a dream of being in like a sister band with them.
Family band, yes.
Yeah, and it's fun because I've always referred to my sisters and my mom. We've referred to ourselves as like the alpha females, but like we've also referred to ourselves as like our matriarch for like as long as I can remember. So to have like a matriarch in like two forms is like really sweet. to me.
Yeah.
And, like I guess everything is the matriarch too.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
You did get a
Everything
sister band.
everywhere.
It's us.
That's beautiful, though. How has your like family and close friends' reactions been to all of this? Like, any sweet moments from?
Yeah, my sisters are super supportive. My whole family was really excited to like listen to, especially Drunk and Lonely. That was one of the only ones that I like let them listen to before it all came out. I eventually shared all the tracks with them, but I was really excited about Drunk and Lonely, and we got a really good mix of it first. So I sent it over to them, and I was actually with them. I was with my mom and my sisters in California, and we all listened to Drunk and Lonely together. And they all just started crying, and it was really special, and it was the first time that I think that I felt that they had like really heard our music, because before we were like, we're in a band, but like, yeah, we're in a band, and like we can do this, and
Yeah.
like, it sounds professional. Something that they kept saying was just like, whoa, like this is like really good. So it was cool to like get that like recognition and to like, I don't know, hear them say that. It was really special, and to like share that moment with them, especially with such like a vulnerable and like emotional song too.
I know it was really hard. I only showed my parents, I think, 2 or 3 songs before the EP came out, and then I was just like, you're just going to have, this is your only shot. You can hear them right now. I'm going to play them for you, and then you're just going to have to wait. And I remember being like a little bit nervous even to just like play them, and because we had been put in so much work already at that point. But then just like getting to have those moments like early on, I feel like the past week has been really crazy with just like friends and different bands and stuff reaching out. But like those moments before the EP came out of like being able to share it before sharing it with the rest of the world, like helps so much. Like getting those little bits of support. I was like so weary about. I wanted to show it to everybody, but at the same time, I didn't because I was scared.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We were all like together. We had a little gathering, a little release party the night that it came out, which was really special. Like everyone there was so supportive. But it was like 10 minutes to midnight, and us four were like hidden away, and we were like, we don't want it to come out. Like we were freaking out.
We got
which I
so
didn't
scared.
expect.
Me either. I don't even know why. It's still
No,
right
we
now.
were just like, we're not ready. And it was like 10 minutes, and it was. But then once it came out, obviously it was all good. But
Yeah.
it was spooky. It was a little bit
Part
of
of it
shock.
was just because of the bad mix we got one time, and we were
Oh,
just
we had a
really?
Spotify
we were so
issue.
nervous that there was
Oh,
something going to happen on Spotify that it
Yeah.
wasn't going to come over.
Spotify
very
for
well.
Artists. If you don't know, everybody listening, Spotify for Artists is a really janky platform,
terrible.
and it crashes all the time. And our music had been uploaded to Spotify for Artists for weeks, and then all of a sudden, the day before the release, it disappeared. And they were like, "Oh, it got mapped to the wrong artist somehow."
Like, it's been
yeah,
there this whole
and they're
time.
like, "Don't worry, it will still come out." So I think we did have that fear a little bit.
But
Where
it
we
came
were
out
like,
under a different profile.
Yeah,
Like
it did.
a
It
It said
different
the matriarch.
It was
but
just like a
was 0
non-existent-
listeners.
yeah.
Yeah, it
A
was,
friend of ours texted us, and they were like, I looked up the matriarch, and it's not popping up. I'll let you know when I can find it. And we were like, I'm sorry, it's out. We just don't
you just
know
have to
where it
search the
is."
name, but now it's on our profile. So.
Yeah, it's
Yay.
there.
Yeah.
Were you talking about the time we got the weird mix, though, Joe?
yeah.
Oh, tell that, please.
Well, I think that's all there is. We don't really need to talk that much about it. I'll talk to you personally if you care about that story.
Ask Joe if you want to hear about that
About this
special
story.
Special
young
secret.
story.
Yeah.
That was a
Joe
wink.
just
I was just gonna say back to the family thing. Parents, if you're listening, I still haven't heard how you think about my EP coming out. But
busy tending to the farm.
I have 2 little sisters.
Yeah, Joe's sister was actually at the party.
I have 2 little sisters, and the one that's here
Shout
in
out,
college
Jara.
with me, Jara, she came up to me at the party, and she's like, Jolyn, like, this is so cool. Like, she's like, just was the first person that was like, kind of like, this is a little bit out of this world. Like, it was so cute that she said that. But
I feel like a lot of my family doesn't get it, but just to be completely honest, my parents are super supportive and have listened to it a bunch. And yeah, my dad was like, "How can I listen before it comes out?" So of course I sent him all the tracks, but and I do have like a few like uncles and cousins that are really into music that have talked to me, but some people just don't get it, and that's okay.
Shout out to
Maybe
any of our,
someday they will.
Maybe. We'll just have to keep trying. Shout out to any of our family that's listening. I think at least my mom, my sister, Ashley. I don't know anybody else, but shout out to you guys.
Yes, thank you everyone
Yeah.
tuning in. And I was gonna say we're only a week into the official release, so people
Yeah.
have a lot of time to get acquainted.
They just have to soak it all in.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. I do want to say before we get into this final song, A Story Untold, Al, you talked earlier about the Welcome to the Matriarch being like a space for music. And I felt that way. I felt at the end like I was being like gently guided through the album.
Yes.
But it's just, you've constructed this like beautiful soundscape where these songs live, I think, and just the way the album progresses. No, it's the artwork. It's just really like, I don't know. I felt it was a very transformative experience, I think, listening to
Thank
it.
you so much.
Of course.
That's what we're
Why do I
going
feel like I'm
for.
going to cry? No. But do you guys feel like listening to it, do you feel that like magic or like whimsy or like what do you... No.
That means so much.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I love like it that it can have that intended effect because that is what we wanted so bad. The Matriarch is a space to us, and we wanted people to feel like they're being welcomed there. That's the whole point. Welcome to the Matriarch. Come and get to know us. Be welcomed in this space. The magic really, like something that Malice said before, is a lot of it is about like beginnings and endings and how they just kind of like circle together. So if you like really want a magical experience, I recommend that you just let A Story Untold play. back into Welcome to the Matriarch. It does work. And just stay there. Just hang out with us. That's like what I hope it feels like when you listen to it, is that you are with us, because every song is a piece of us, or many, many pieces of us.
It does feel like a space. To me, it definitely feels like a space of just like natural experiences and embodiment. Like I feel like I can just be totally myself with like no expectations or pressures. And Al and I actually just wrote a poem for Working Title magazine, which will, I think the issue, it'll be like a while till it comes out, but it'll be the music issue. And the poem is about walking through the matriarch and like kind of being welcomed into the space. So keep an eye out for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do love it. Mal wrote the majority of it. I'll say that. I just filled in bits and pieces. But I love that you called it like a soundscape. Because
especially this last song.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe when you're listening through the EP, like picture yourself exploring Zoe's art on the album cover. They hit a lot of goodies in there. We also kind of, with like the no beginnings, no ends, we like angel numbers in this band, like the repetition of like 222, 555, 888. 888 especially has been like no beginning, no end. But Zoe hid 222 somewhere in the album.
Scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Let us know if you can
right
find
now,
it.
let us know if you can find the 222 somewhere. And A Story Untold, this one, it's secret. Its secret name, not really.
Its original name.
Its original name was 222, and we don't really know why. We can't remember why we named it that. You do remember?
Yeah.
Oh, we couldn't
we
figure it out for
started writing this song in a very emotional place. And me and Mal and Al, I think, were physically together. And we were writing it late at night. And took a voice memo. That's how you do it. If you write songs, you have an idea. And we just had like the first part of the song, the first like couple stanzas. There's not really a verse or a chorus.
There's
no structure. But we had the first part of it done, and just like a little guitar riff that turned into the synth line. And we had a voice memo, and Al went back down to her apartment because they lived below Mal. And Mal and I were still in Mal's apartment. And Al sent us the voice memo, and it was 2:22 in the morning. And when we looked up that angel number, it was just about like knowing that it's supposed to be like a sign that you're on the right path, which was just like huge for us in that moment. Like we needed a little bit of reassurance that we were doing the right things, and we got it.
Because it was a really like raw time for us. And then we actually returned to write the rest of the song like a couple months later when we were feeling so much more whole. And like even like the bad things that have happened to us made sense, and actually like Matt was saying, like put us on the right path. So yeah, like at the beginning of A Story Untold, you'll hear like some sad lines, but by the end it's like nothing of that matters. Like into the future I will be singing. And
Yeah, the line is
dreaming.
no longer fearing a story untold, and that's really just us realizing that we weren't scared of what was going to happen anymore. We weren't scared of the future, and we were just ready for what was going to happen.
Well, let's listen to it. This is A Story Untold, the Matriarch, the final song of Welcome to the Matriarch. Enjoy.
Soft and magic, heart turned tragic, stars of lightning, sweet designing, playing pretend every weekend, never saying hearts were breaking. Confused, shock, put to a stop, collecting what's
right, that was the Story Untold. Was it the final? Was that going into a new song?
That was Best
That
Wishes.
was going into
actually.
Best Wishes.
Oh, yeah, I had
That's
some.
funny.
You heard
Stream
a
Best
little
Wishes
bit.
also.
You
Yes.
heard the beginning bass line of Best Wishes by Joe.
Yeah, the first.
By the Matriarch?
Well, the bass line's Joe. But yeah.
Yeah, Go Stream That. That was the first song that y'all put out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been wonderful having you guys in
Thank
the
you so
studio
much.
today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, yeah.
What can we expect from you in the future? What should we be looking out for?
We do have a show tomorrow, actually, which is great. This is great timing. We'll be playing with the Croaks and Nick Seamer, who are the Croaks local band, and Nick, just a local singer-songwriter. They all have original music out on Spotify and everywhere, too, so check them out. Come to the Black House tomorrow night if you're over 21.
We'll be playing the entire EP,
Yes.
the EP in its entirety,
Yes.
cover to cover.
With little special bits.
Come dance with
sprinkled
us.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a great time. It's the official release party,
Yeah.
or release show,
Yeah.
I should say.
It'll be the
So,
first time we're playing all of the tracks at any show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep promoting the EP. Probably settle back in because this has been like a big whirlwind for us. But so we have to get resettled in order to put out new things for everyone.
And then,
We are already working on
yeah, I was
Back
going
to
to
work.
say,
Yeah,
there's
we
going to
have-
be more music.
we
We
have
can't
some
really
singles
stop
ready to
writing,
put
so.
Yeah.
We have merch also.
Oh, yeah.
New merch coming out too within the next couple days. So.
While we were talking, Mal showed me a cool little snippet of some of the merch coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited.
Yeah, you can find that on rewindrecords.org, I believe.
Well, check it out. You guys should be very proud of yourselves.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful project. I can't wait to see more from y'all. The people can find you at the Matriarch Band on Instagram
And TikTok.
and TikTok. Can't forget. The Matriarch across all streaming platforms.
Yes.
It's been a real joy talking to you guys today. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Hopefully you stuck around. It's been an amazing hour, so I hope you've enjoyed that. But this has been Growing Pains on WIUX. Tune in next week. I'm here every Friday at 3 p.m. But thanks to Matriarch. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.